Welcome to Specialty Marketing Consultants, marketing you can do right now. The podcast with your host, RodHarter.
Welcome everybody back to the podcast, Marketing You Can Do Right Now. And today we have an old friend on the line. I shouldn't use the word old, should I, Bill?
My daughter calls me old, but anyway, that's okay.
Well, Bill Gough is the founder of BGI Systems, and he's a great friend of our podcast. He's back to share some more wisdom with us. So, Bill, welcome, and thank you again for taking time from your schedule to be a part of our podcast today.
Well, you're very welcome. Glad to be here. It's always good to come and talk with you and your audience, Rod. It's I don't know. I think I get more out of these things than your audience does. It's always good to, because anytime you're talking on a subject, it's all, especially when you're learning this stuff as you're going. Anytime you're talking on it and sharing some, sharing some successes or even failures for that matter, or sharing experience and strength and hope, it just helps it helps us as presenters is probably more than it does the people out there listening to it. So I always grow and learn from these experiences.
Well, I always get a big spike in those that listen. My numbers go way up when you talk. So you have a big following on my podcast, and I know you do across the country with your clients. Because of that, we value your time and the information you share. Today, we talked a bit about this before we went live. I think we both agreed that a great subject, and you can never talk about it too much, is lead generation. And I know you have built your business to a large degree with lead generation. And we'll just open this up for a dialogue, Bill. You and I don't have a script here. So what does that mean to you when you hear the word lead generation, and how does it work in your business?
Well, I can tell you, Lou, it means a lot more to me today than it would, say, of even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, even the last 3 years, for that matter. As fast as the world is moving now and changing, you have to be looking for new ways to generate leads. We're all in business. Your audience is entrepreneurs. In other words, business owners, small business owners. Or is your audience.
Right.
So, the first order of a for-profit business is to earn a profit. Without a profit, there is no business. So,
right.
Unless you've gone out here and started something to buy yourself a job, that is, and then you're only earning income and you're not developing it and building any equity or anything like that. And we're to build profit, hopefully to build equity, to one day maybe sell or expand or both, or you have to have new business coming in. And so what are we doing to generate leads? Well, there may be 35 ways to generate leads in your business. And you may say, "Oh my God, how can I find 35 ways to find leads in my business?" Well, once you start looking at it, once you start doing things, it's amazing how little things add up. One of the best baits to offer that as entrepreneurs is a free book or a free report. When I say free report, I'm talking about maybe a 2-page, 4-page, 8-page report on what it is you can do, what you can do to help clients or prospects, with the products and services that you sell and feature in your business.
Most small business owners that I come in contact with, their approach is, well, we grow our business through referrals. And I tell them, well, that's wonderful if you can do that. But it takes a long time for the average small business owner to get to that point. And that should be one of your sources of revenue, but it shouldn't be the source of revenue. And you said something that got my full attention: 35 possible ways to, I call them lines over the boat, where you've got something out there. If one thing isn't working, another one is. And it all comes back down to lead generation. You come from an angle of service, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Lead generation, you have to come to people that you serve from a different position, as Earl Nightingale said years and years ago. Show up like nobody else, look around, be different, see what your competitors are doing, and do the exact opposite. And I think you do that.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned referrals. I mean, there's 3 or 4 different ways you can get from referral. I mean, some people classify referrals just as referrals. Well, I'm talking about when we talk about referrals in an insurance agency office, we're talking about referrals that can be gathered from your existing customers and giving them a reason to respond. And one of the reasons you do that is you come up with a referral reward system. Yeah, that gives prizes or drawings. For us in insurance, we're heavily regulated. So I mean, if we can design something that does something very, very good, somebody out, like in my business today, I'm not regulated in what I can give away. I can give away pretty much anything I want to give away. I can give away free memberships if I want to. And I wouldn't be very profitable if I did that. But I mean, like in the insurance business, we would give for our referral reward system, we would give away gift cards for just having a conversation about, what kind of policies that you have, and putting together quotes and package protection policies for you. Number 2, anybody that sends us a referral every month, we throw their name in a bucket and we pull a name out. We give away a gift card, $50, $100, whatever it could be. And at the end of the year, we do a grand prize drawing, because every time you refer somebody from us, whether they buy or not, you go into the grand prize drawing where we give away a big 43-inch TV at the end of the year. That's what we teach people to do, or some other kind of prize like that, if you want to, making it a giveaway and making it kind of fun and talking about it and promoting it. Now, that's referrals just from your customers. You also can get referrals from the people that work in your business to dig referrals out of people. See, referrals can be volunteered from your customers just by reminding them. But what if you put just a little, not really pressure, but low pressure on them by making sure you ask them about it and talk to them about it at key points in conversations? For example, on a new business sale. Something very good has just happened. Somebody has just you've just exchanged services for cash or value. So something of value is in exchange for money. So both parties are happy. Most people like buying things. And when they buy something, if you give them another opportunity, they will buy some more. It's called an upsell or a cross sale, mostly an upsell. So in the upsell, you can use the referral, promote your referral program for an opportunity. Well, it could go something like, Rod, it's been great talking with you today and working with you, putting this package together for you today. I know you're happy with it. And, if I could clone you, you're an ideal client for our customers, an ideal client for our business. If I could, I'd like to clone you and have 50 of you. Rod, can we take just a minute and maybe you could think of just one person, a friend or family member, coworker that could have the same satisfaction that you've had here today?
That's a great script because you compliment them.
It's low pressure. You let them know they're ideal. If they're an ideal client, you've done the job and got the right prospect in there in the first place. The who is always very, very important. It's more important than anything. And you got the right person in there. They've done business. And man, if you're bad at this, you'll get 1 out of 4 or 5 of them to tell you yes. They'll give you 1 or 2 people. Once you practice it and it becomes common in your everyday business and you'll get good at it, before long you'll be getting 50% of them, and then 2/3 of it, maybe even 3/4 one day. And even if you do a good enough job in the sales presentation, when you're talking to people, when you're putting something together, even if you don't do business with them, they'll like you. So, if you build a good, part of the process of doing a sales presentation is of offering a product is building that rapport and trust. And if for some reason, if you've done a good enough job of building that rapport and trust, even if they have not purchased from you, they will like it, for whatever reason. Then, you might get good enough at this to where they give you referrals even when they don't do business with you. I see it every day in the insurance industry. So, but that's just getting them for customers. And then pulling them out is a second way. A third way is going to other businesses that have the same type customer that we do and asking them to send referrals to help them in their business to make them look like a hero. For example, in an insurance agency, that would be mortgage brokers, realtors, anybody involved in the sale of a home or the sale of a car or the sale of a toy, a big toy. When I'm talking about a toy, I'm talking about maybe a motorcycle, a boat, an RV, something like that. Those are just three sources of referrals right there, right off the top. When we used to measure from referrals, we just didn't group them all into referrals. We broke them down by where they came from. And when we were marketing multiple states, we were even breaking them down by vendor. I mean, I had 4 or 5. We had 5, 6, 7, 8 sources of referrals of where when I was really measuring these things in my business. I do the same thing today at BGI, except we take it a little different situation. But that's just generating leads by referrals. But let's say we don't have a book of business and we want to start generating leads from the get-go with whatever product or service that we have. Well, how are we gonna do that? Well, first of all, we got to determine who our ideal client is. We need to have a really, really good idea of who that is, what they're doing. Where are they? Where can we find them? If we could find out what keeps them up at night. Right. If we can enter into that conversation and we can provide a solution for that, man, emotionally you got them.
It's so true. They're just ready for somebody to come and solve their problem. Mm-hmm. And you just have to align their need with your service or product. And boy, you're right. You're fishing in a small pond.
You're fishing in a small pond, selling in a vacuum. It's pretty it's pretty cool. So, you have to figure out who's your ideal client, because if you don't get real clear on who it is that you want, then you're going to take on anybody. And when you take on anybody, you get in trouble. I'll give you a perfect example of this. 7 years ago, me and a guy, we started a company to build apartment buildings. The secret was finding the right partner. Right. This guy's a contractor. He's been building for another known guy around here forever. His model is really nice. I really like it. They build 1-story, 1-level apartment homes. They build them probably 4 or 5 units to a building, 6, whatever the land allows for. And the units are about 1,250 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, all 1 level. Okay. Mm-hmm. The idea, our perfect client is a retired person coming there that wants no maintenance. So you want retired people. They have money. They're not afraid of the rent you're going to charge, because you can charge them higher dollars than you can anybody else. You don't. So we want retired people to come there, and for lack of a better word, they come there to die. In other words, mm-hmm. they've sold their home. They do away with all the stuff and the clutter, and they come there and they want to have a nice, peaceful living independently before they pass away. So this is what we said we wanted, and so we were so excited to be in this business. We were counting the millions, 20 years later. So mm-hmm. Anyway, we set up, and so there's a long period of time of construction. And during the construction, you get pretty close to where you're going to start taking on tenants. Mm-hmm. And we did and this is Rod. Now this was only 7 or 8 years ago, and I've been in this marketing thing here for a couple of decades. Marketing to the right. I've learned about marketing to the right people now for over 20 years, and learning how to use direct response marketing, choosing ideal clients, and all this. And just because we said it, we didn't do anything about it as far as getting it down on paper and really following your rules and doing background checks and that sort of thing. The very first client we took wrote us a bad check. Well, here we go. We're in the rental business, and we got 100 more of these units to build. Well, we could have thought, and it didn't get much. It got a little bit better than that, but we've been getting money going out one way, and then all of a sudden we want to start taking some money in. Next thing you know, we weren't keeping checks and balances on our manager. She was letting pretty much anything in there. We started getting complaints. We had drug dealers living in there. There wasn't any old people. The old people was moving. So anyway, sure. It was horrible. We blew a lot of money by doing that. Now, fast forward to today. Last year we started rebuilding. About a year and a half ago we sold that complex and started another one. Now we don't have that situation anymore because we got the right client in that unit. We got the right people in that unit, and we have a few people that are not retired, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, it's perfectly okay. Now we don't have swimming pools. We don't even have spigots on the building where they can wash their cars. Because if you do that, I mean, the next thing you know, their friends are coming over and they're having car washes. And you don't really want that. We just want somebody to come and live, have a nice, clean place, keep it very, very nice, all one level. People like living on the bottom floor, and treat them right. Have beautiful grounds, and have an attentive apartment manager and a maintenance person. And we're full. I mean, we are. When somebody moves out, we move them right in. And guess what's happened?
Wow.
We've increased the rates like 3 different times because they'll keep paying as long as you get the ideal client. And I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing, but we found the right. We learned this by example. I mean by failure. So.
Yes.
So you got to make sure you got to get the right person. People want to do stuff like, let's send out some mailers. But just because you decide you're going to send out some mail doesn't mean that people are going to magically come into your office or your business, or if you've got a bricks and mortar shop, and start buying from you. The response on direct mail is usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 0.5%. And so you better be selling a product that has a great return. You better be selling a product that you can deal with those returns on. So our responses on, because you've got, and then not only that, but if you're going to cold lists, that's another reason. When we do direct mail to generate leads, I like to start with the people that already know me. In other words, my own book of business, my own customer base, even my former customers can be that are no longer with me. What are you doing with the people that you write? You try to do business with them. You don't for whatever reason. What are you doing with those unconverted leads? How are you touching them? How are you staying in touch with them to where you can try to convert them at a later date? Most people just give up on them. We have a routine where we don't do that at all, especially in the insurance business. Is critically important. Just because somebody doesn't buy from you one time won't mean they might come back and buy from you in the future, especially when you stay in touch with them through healthier, wealthier, and wiser email tips, or even an agent, or even a business your newsletter to your existing customers and prospects.
Yeah. And many of my clients say that newsletter is the best thing they've ever done. Do you feel that way, Bill?
It absolutely is. I mean, I first got introduced formally to a newsletter back in, I don't know, early 2000, something like that. And when I saw it an insurance agent was doing. I said, "Oh man, I got to do that for my customers." And what I found out was interesting was it's the foundation of relationship marketing. Most of us that are small business owners dealing with, most of us are in the relationship business. We think we're in whatever we're selling business. Well, we're not. Most of us are probably in the relationship business. If it wasn't for the relationships that we have with our existing customers or prospects, centers of influence, then the deliverable or the product or service is just that. It's all about doing business. Most of this stuff is doing business with who you know, like, and trust. And the way you do that newsletter is so important. A typical newsletter needs about 70% of content in there that has nothing to do with your products or services at all. In other words, tips and information in there that's helping people become healthier, wealthier, and wiser. Even some funny stuff in there, recipes, games, active, getting people involved by playing, giving them an opportunity to, do puzzles or send in answers or contribute.
Right.
You get people involved. It makes engagement. Yeah, you get people engaged. It's so important. But the other 25% should be, you have an opportunity, so it should be something in there about your products and services, and there should be a call to action in there for them to give them an opportunity to call you for something, even if it's just to review something or an inquire about a free thing that you got going on, or a promotion, whatever it happens to be. If you're in a business that is relationship in nature, if you're in the, then you need to be doing things to talk about. They are interested in your life, believe it or not. They're interested in where you go on vacation.
I get my biggest response when I put something out that's funny.
Rod, I know your people know when you're talking about a business newsletter, you're talking about a paper and ink, and you put a stamp on it and you mail it, like you do with yours every month. And I hope that's what the people listening to this are doing too. We deliver 3 newsletters to 3 different audiences every month. Okay, 3 different ones. One of them is to clients that are insurance agency owners. One of them is to sales managers or sales leaders with corporations like Allstate or Farmers who actually manage or lead lead insurance agency owners. And then the third one is we do newsletters for other agents. And in other words, we do a done-for-you service for other insurance agents. One of the things we do, they're mailed to everybody, but we also, every one of those newsletters, I also shoot a video and talk about a couple of things in the newsletters. If I can do a short video, a couple of minutes, and just send my newsletter to my customers, my insurance agency owner customers, it's 16 pages. So it's got little links to it. Yeah. So it's got a link to it, but I don't sit there and talk about every little thing. I'm getting people engaged to look at it right there. It costs me nothing to do that, and it really increases readership and engagement with my audience. So I do that for each I do it for 2 out of 3. I don't do it for the done for you service.
As we sort of bring this call to a close today, what would you suggest to somebody who's really been thinking about lead generation, hasn't really done it, maybe just now hearing about it? What would you suggest with a limited budget that they do first? What's the first couple of things you'd suggest they do to get their feet wet?
Since all of us have limits of money that we can use, and we're looking for positive ROI, long-term customer value, and all that good stuff, then you better be figuring out who your best, you got to figure out your avatar client or whoever your best is, and try to where are those people hanging out, and where can I get to them? How can I get to them? Is it going to have to be mail? And if I have to get to them, I'm probably going to have to use multimedia to get to them. Or if it's one of those things where it's a physical thing, you could just go to where they're at. If they're gathered at somewhere once a month, it could even be at a chamber meeting. Like for us, if I'm going to get referrals from realtors and mortgage brokers, where are they hanging out every month? Well, a bunch of them are hanging out at their association lunches and their association dinners, and that's where they are. So why not join an association? And show. You can usually join one of those things as an affiliate member for a few $100, but if you join, just because you join, don't mean you're gonna get any business out of them. You better start showing up and seeing what you can do for them, and you better come with a servant's attitude rather than strapping on the napkin across your chin and here, feed me. I'm the pig. Feed me. Just load it up here. Go with the servant's attitude. That's what we teach people to do. So do something for them first and serve people. If you already have a book of business, or if you already have customers and clients, can you sell them more? Well, if you can, that's where you should start, because they'll be happy to. They'll be happy to oblige in most cases. Not all of them will, but the numbers will work out good for you. And you got to be smart about where you're going to get new business from. We send out 100 FedEx packages every week, and we're out about $9.58 for those things. Not that anybody's counting. Of course I'm counting. I count every bit of it. Why don't we send them FedEx? Well, FedEx is going to get opened.
Then you prove that you can't do one or two things. You have to be out there. Mm-hmm. As I said earlier, a lot of lines over the boat. Keep your hook baited.
Well, Rod, you can help your people with all that stuff. That's what you've got a lot of experience with marketing and getting generating new leads and what to do with the customer once you get them, and how to create the lifetime value at a very profitable number. So the people listening to this are in a good spot.
Thank you. Well, as we do every time you and I speak, you've got your website, bgisystems.com. You've got a lot of great stuff on there talking about giving things away and coming from an angle of servicing. You've got some nice tools for anybody that whether you're in the insurance business or not, and we'll always direct people there, Bill.
Please take an hour out of your day or 30 minutes out of your day and go somewhere and write down what it is you want to accomplish, because if this thing is in your head and you don't have it down on paper, then you're already behind, and you don't want to be in that position. I can speak from experience there, and
yep.
And you want to make sure that you just, it's basic stuff, but so it's too bad so many people are not doing the fundamentals and the basics.
Yeah, that's right. They're trying to put the roof on the place. They haven't built the foundation.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, thanks so much. I cannot thank you again for your time, given your schedule and what you have going on. You're a very gracious man.
Glad to do it.
All right, Bill. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.